Alrighty, it is time for Seal of Orichalcos, and it is Rafael taking on Kaiba. Rafael going with the with his Guardian cards, and Kaiba, well, same old Kaiba. Kaiba has had which one did he use of the dragons? Was it Eye of Timaeus for Kaiba, or was that Yugioh's? I think Hermos was Joey's. I can't remember what the other one was called. But you should say that Kaiba probably should win. Rafael's Guardian deck isn't that fantastic, but we will find out. Guardian KS was played face down in defense mode along with negate attack. Rafael does like to protect his Guardians in the anime, so... Alright, Kaiba starts off with 3. Make that 4 face downs. Oh, okay. Kaiba may not have started off with a great hand. There's Guardian Elmer, which, because the Butterfly Dagger Elmer is a banned card and Rafael can't have it in his deck for multiplayers, Guardian Elmer technically can't be summoned face up for Rafael. And being that it's not a very strong monster, alright, X-Head Cannon has gone after Guardian KS. Guardian KS cannot be targeted for attacks, but does not prevent the opponent from attacking directly. So Guardian KS is actually a good one for the equip cards because it can't be attacked and destroyed. Well, it can be destroyed if something can negate its effect or something, or magical trap, but it is a good one to put the equip cards onto because it doesn't have the added risk of being attacked. Kaiba has summoned Vorse Raider. And okay, where are comments up to? Ah, yep, that looks like it there. Alright, negate attack was activated to protect the Guardians that were face down. There's Guardian Growl. Rafael does have Mirror Force available as well. He could further protect his Guardians and possibly lure Kaiba into a bad position. Alright, Kaiba tributes and... oh, he's gone with Vampire Lord. I think he may have only used it in 1 or 2 episodes. But it was in his deck at one point. And it's not a bad card, Vampire Lord. It's actually a very good card if it can do life point damage. But Mirror Force is activated. And Kaiba has lost all the monsters on his field. Let's start off with SCH-292. What about Batteryman AA and Batteryman C for Valon? I got this idea at the moment. I'm playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Ultimate Master World Championship Tournament 2006 and dueling Batteryman C while watching this video. That's actually not a bad idea. The Batterymans... they're a GX deck, if I'm remembering it right. I think they were in the Lost Millennium booster pack, because I think that's where I pulled my one, because I've got Batteryman AA, I've got a couple of them, but I haven't got the other letters. So a Batteryman deck for Valon could actually be a legitimate call. I just think as an archetype, the Batterymans, they can get very strong and they can special summon themselves out in numerous ways, if I remember them correctly. I remember playing against, I think there's a challenge deck that uses Batteryman on this, and they can get themselves out very quick. It might be similar to the Deskbot issue, but it is worth a test. The Batterymans are cool. I quite like them as an archetype. They're quite fun. But it is an idea for Valon. The Psyframe... I reckon the Psyframe is a safe bet, but we can always try a Batteryman deck to see if that's a better option. The thing with Valon's Psyframes, they're just very hard to summon, so it could make him potentially very weak. As well as Kaiba has just tried to use polymerization with 2 Thunder Dragons. And Rafael protecting his monsters like his life depends on it. So Kaiba was looking to summon the twin-headed Thunder Dragon, which would have been a 2800. There's Guardian Yugioh. And Rafael doesn't have any monsters in his graveyard. That is the reward for protecting his monsters. 2500. Kaiba may have drawn a little bit of... Although he had his Polymerization and his 2 Thunder Dragons, he's had his Vampire Lord on the field. Rafael's just had the jump on him. If Kaiba can't block this, Kaiba will actually lose this first match. Alright, there's Guardian KS in for an attack, and Yugioh will finish it. If Kaiba can't block, and he doesn't, wow, okay, Rafael is up 1-0. I didn't expect that. Maybe the Guardian deck isn't quite as bad as what we thought it might be. Curious, okay. Edit 1455, this is also from SCH292. Yeah, the trap, I know, is return from the different dimension. In a nutshell, you pay half your life points. Special summon as much as removed monsters from play to your side of the field. And at the end phase, you remove all the monsters special summoned by this card. Ah, okay. So that could be useful for Valen's deck. Return from the different dimension. That's a good shout. Okay, game number 2. We're from Kaiba's perspective this time. And that's an interesting starting hand. Shrink is there, Slate Warrior's there, which is a good beat stick. Sagi the Dark Clown, forever classic. Can never go wrong with a good Sagi in the deck. White Dragon Head there as well, so Kaiba, if he can get his X-Head Cannon, there's Ring of Destruction. Rafael started off with face down defense and a face down spell or trap. I think we're going to be announcing that a lot for Rafael. Okay, Slate Warrior is played, and Slate Warrior at 1900 is going to be quite difficult for Rafael. There's Iron Blacksmith Kotetsu, which is actually not a bad card. That is one that can add an equip card from Rafael's deck to his hand, and if he's got a certain Guardian that he would like to summon, he could possibly get that to the field. I've just pulled up on my Switch and I see it, Return from the Different Dimension. It's a great card for Valen's deck. Unfortunately, it's a banned card. It's got the big red stop sign looking symbol on it. So it was a very good shout, but unfortunately it's banned. Otherwise it's a perfect card for Valen's deck for that Psy-Frame. If only on this there was a mode where you could take the banned cards off. It's really surprising that there isn't a mode for that for multiplayer. Alright, moving on. Alejandro Fernandez says Psy-Frame is best against competitive decks because they are so disruptive. That one good use of their effects can just win the game against these types of decks, especially before the 5Ds era. They lack that power. It's a there was that trap card, Psy-Frame. What was it called? I don't remember. I can't remember the name off the top of my head. But the Psy-Frame trap card, where you throw a Psy-Frame monster out of play and you can just destroy the opponent's cards on the field. It's a very strong effect. But Valen, he needs that effect. Otherwise, he's just not going to be any good. There's Polymerization. Kaiba starting to build up his forces on this one. Rafael does have a Shard of Greed on the field. He's got a couple of them in his deck to balance out his inability to summon effectively. Bradman 1978 says, I would consider the Synchros as touch summons. Oh, sorry, touch fusions. Seeing the armor cards in the anime with touch fusions like the XYZ cannon. Yeah, in a way. I do see the logic behind that. I really, personally myself, I really need to practice with Synchro and XYZ summons more. Because I want to do them as series, I just don't quite get them enough. I wouldn't mind doing a series where it's normal monsters only, but you can use XYZs. I reckon that'd be quite fun, because then we could use like classic old cards like Sagi, build decks out of them, like level 3 monsters, and then do all these like XYZ summons. Okay, that's Silent Doom. Sir Aaron Game Guy says, "My reversed the duel only for Chum to double it and send it back." My and Chum's match, it was short. It was 3 duels. It was short, but it was good, and it was very, very hard and fast. Chumlee is going up against Bakura. That is going to be a real challenge, because if Bakura can draw Destiny Board or even Final Countdown, and can get a little bit of a stall going, even with Dark Sanctuary, if Bakura gets those cards early, he is very tough to beat. Alright, Rafael has pulled, Power of the Guardians, good card. Mecha Jason says, Bakura lost. No, I don't believe it. I can't believe it. I won't believe it. That was a Bakura and Valen match from the Seal of Orichalcos, which, again, was a good match. Bakura, he just needed those extra cards. But Valen using that trap card to destroy Bakura's cards off the field by throwing his Psy-frames, that's what did it in, because Bakura had those winning cards, he just couldn't keep them on the field. So that Valen deck, that Psy-frame deck, does actually match up very well against Destiny Board and Fiend Sanctuary. Alright, Arsenal Summoner. Ring of Destruction was activated by Kaiba, but Rafael put up a 7 Tools of the Bandit. Rafael's lost a lot of points. There's Gravity Axe Growl, but Rafael may be turning this one around. He does still have Shrink in his hand though. So he could halve the attack of Arsenal Summoner. Arsenal Summoner is a useful card for Rafael, being able to use the flip effect to get his Guardians. There goes White Dragon Head. Good choice actually, because if Kaiba draws X-Head Cannon, we're going to see a fusion. Oh, there's Force Raider. Kaiba drawing some of his heavier beat sticks. Now Shrink is available, so Arsenal Summoner won't be safe here. Alright, that goes down to 1300. Usually it would go down to 800, but because it's got the equip card, the 500 points adds back on. Twin-Headed Behemoth removes Arsenal Summoner. And Raphael's defense... Oh, it's Guardian KS'd. And 1200 with the different Dimension Dragon. If Guardian KS, well, Raphael would need the equip card on the field to be able to summon it face up. SCH-292. Imagine if Chumlee has Berserk Gorilla and use Trioda's effect on that Gorilla. It will be a 3k beat stick. Berserk Gorilla, that's not a bad shout for maybe like a future Chumlee deck if he needs a bit of a boost, but although Chumlee isn't exactly losing a lot of matches, I don't think his deck needs a boost. Berserk Gorilla is is that 2000 attack off the top of my head? Okay, Kaiba, in for the attacks. And there it is. Kaiba draws it back to 1-1. So we're going to see a third and final in this one. There it is, Berserk Gorilla. If this card is in face-up defense position, destroy this card. This card must attack if able. It's Berserk Gorilla reminds me of Dragon Ball Z a little bit with the Saiyan ape and it just attacking relentlessly. So it's 2000 attack. It's only 4 stars, but it has to attack if able. So that can be a that can be a detrimental effect. But 2000 and being able to attack just 4 stars, no tribute, that's very strong in certain areas of Yu-Gi-Oh! Crimson Maelstrom, Chumley only has 3 duels left. Bakura and Arcana are the ones I'm most worried for. Yeah, I reckon Chumley's deck is going to be a bit too much for Mako's style, although you never know. Mako, he did finish second for a reason. His deck is very tricky. Alright, Shard of Greed played for Rafael, and Guardian KS'd once again. 1800 defense. He's got 2 equipped cards. Glendivo, I've been waiting to say this from Duelist Kingdom, but I have been waiting for someone to beat Chumley because his deck is way too consistent compared to the errors that he's going up against. Between the Otter and the Koalas, it is always an uphill battle for any opponent. I have to now hedge my bets on Arcana. Arcana has been... Oh, there's another Shard of Greed for Rafael. We put in multiple because of his weaknesses. Try to balance him a bit. Mecha Jason says, my lost, I am losing faith in Bakura and Mako, but Lord Arcana will crush that koala. I don't know, that koala's it's quite a beat stick. As Shard of Greed is activated and 2 more cards drawn. To be fair, I actually love Chumley's deck. I reckon it's awesome. I've thoroughly enjoyed watching that deck play. Amamiya Casual, personally, if I was Bakura, I wouldn't even duel. I'd just summon a card into the real world to attack the other player like he did in the anime. Yeah. Dude, Bakura is so unhinged, bro. Like, he just has no filter. And even in the manga, he's twice of what he is on the anime. As well, Guardian KS'd, 1800 defense. Now can't be targeted for attacks, but it will allow Rafael... He can still be attacked directly. But Iron Blacksmith Kotetsu was attacked here, so actually he's gonna have to go for the equip card of the monster that's in his hand, isn't he? Is that Seal? Keel? Or however you say it. Yes. Alright, there goes Iron Blacksmith Kotetsu. Moonwolfie says, well, this deck may not win many, but at least it's not totally overpowering as the desk bots were. This is actually competitive. A card to bring a card from banishment could be helpful with how that overload trap works. Psyframe Overload, that's what it was called. Well, SCH did mention that card, returned from the different dimension or something. But yeah, unfortunately banned. I'm sure there's other cards that can do it though. But Crush Card Virus. Oh, I'll say that with more emphasis now. Crush Card Virus. So Rafael had used... Oh, what just happened? I was looking at my phone. Crush Card Virus just... It's activated. It was... Oh, it was the equip card. The equip card lowered Vampire Lord by 1,000 points. But it would allow it to attack directly. And then Kaiba, and then Rafael was going to summon Guardian Seal to the field. However, Kaiba then activated Crush Card. However, he didn't bank on Rafael using Monster Reborn. If Rafael did not have Monster Reborn, he would be absolutely flattened right now. It was a good play from Kaiba. Destroyed all the monsters in Rafael's hand and got rid of the strength on his field. However, Monster Reborn. Can Kaiba get back here? He's still got 4 cards in hand. Still got plenty of life points. Let's see what Kaiba can do here. Moonwolfie says, another win for Chum. for Final Fantasy XIII, the Crystarium, it is like that game's version of 10's Sphere Grid, in a sense. Okay. CP is like sphere points, and it's used to level, increase HP, MP, strength, etc. and learn abilities for the characters. Each character has 6 roles they can do, 3 primary and 3 secondary. 6 roles are kind of like warrior, mage, thief, etc. Yeah, I'm with you. The later stages of the Crystarium for the primary roles and all the secondary roles will take hundreds and thousands of CP to fully master. I've spent hours grinding and power leveling in certain areas for CP and components, and there is still going to be more once I finish the main story. That is just the story of every Final Fantasy game. The grind, the power grind. The only way to get the best weapons and equipment is by upgrading, and you can only transform the weapon or accessory to the next stage after the first is maxed. And I also have to have the correct catalyst to do the transformation. That is just going to take as much time to complete as maxing out each character's 6 roles. I'll have to play 13 sometime because it does sound really good. I heard it had a lot of mixed reviews, but the internet can go to hell sometimes. Like, the internet does not know what it's talking about. People will find anything to complain about, and there's Bayou's card. Oh my god, if Kaiba can't block this, he's got 4 cards in hand, but it appears that he just doesn't have anything to play. I mean, he had options, but Rafael got at Kaiba with that card crush, but Rafael using Monster Reborn has completely flipped this duel. Okay, that last equip card, that allows Vampire Lord to attack twice. It doesn't need to. And it looks like Kaiba can't block this. I can't believe Rafael's going to win this. There's one more Yu-Gi-Oh comment. Emperor Pikachu, another close call for Chumley, but a great match. That was for Chum and Mai. And I do not believe what we have just seen. I cannot believe Rafael has actually beaten Kaiba. That would mean that Rafael Guardian deck, in theory, should be able to beat a good proportion of the Battle City players. That is a really surprising result. I was not expecting Rafael to win that. But you all saw it, he did. So Rafael is going to advance, and he is going to take on the winner of Taya or Pegasus, who have just happened to draw each other, which didn't really play... Oh, they played their roles in the Silver Orichalcos, but they weren't like a main player. But anyway, thanks everybody for tuning in. We do have Chumley taking on Bakura in the next match following as well. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Wherever you are in the world, stay safe, take care, farewell.